So I took everything to him and left her behind. I took all my love and attention and left her behind. I wasn't a husband. I was an excellent father and a woeful husband. So they're not built like us, my brother. They're white. They're not built like us. And after a while, she said, I can't find who I'm married. How do we? And we parted as friends. I said, I'm here, but I'm not here. There's no presence here. I don't know what it would take for me to heal, to bring myself back. But if you want to wait for me, I will appreciate it. But if you can't, I will understand. She said she can't.
Hi and welcome to my channel Gstream. I bring you the latest and hottest gist around the globe. If you want to stay up to date with the hottest stories and never miss a beat, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I saw this interview of Iyke and I was so blown away. Why people can keep secret? Nobody will ever think Iyke was married before. He kept it so secret. He said he got married before. He was a very good father to his kids, but a bad husband to the wife. So let's take a look at the interview and see.
Seen most of what you've done in the past 3 years.
Yes.
I've seen bad comments, obviously. I saw bad comments twice. I've seen cold feet, which I absolutely loved. We're going to talk about cold feet. Of course, everybody has seen Married Men, so it's not really special for me to say I've seen Married Men. I feel like you've, and this is not, I'm not just saying it, I feel like you're acting as age like fine wine. Do you agree?
I won't put it as eloquently as you have. But nevertheless, it's been an evolution of sorts. Yeah. I've had to grow over the ages and take time to prioritize what was important to me as an artist, as a creator, as a leader of sorts in this establishment. I understood the assignment, so to speak, when you put it in proper street parlance. Yes. I didn't understand the responsibility before. I thought as an artist, mine was to make money, move my agenda, my vision forward, cater for the people around me that look up to me and I look up to. But when you're given a gift, there's a certain responsibility that comes to it. It dawned on me maybe in my late 30s that this is a responsibility. What you say, hold water. What you say is important. You're one of the people that pivot conversations, and you're one of the leaders of thoughts as well. So that was the dawning, that was the cups that changed the entire narrative for me. I think when I arrived at that Rubicon, I understood that to amplify everything I say, it has to have very potent repercussions if it's not said properly or delivered properly. And that's when I went on that research, on ending bend of research. That's when I went to really understand my place in this community called, as a creative.
Yeah, as a creative. Did something trigger that
yes,
change in you?
Yes. Sometimes when you're in a home, and I'll use this analogy, and of course liken it to our establishment, when you come once or twice or thrice, you're a guest. And after that, you are still welcome. Yes. So I think that's an apt way of putting it. Right. After a while, I understood that there's no point to being in this establishment. I've done it all. I've done the 360, the 9 yards. I've made movies with everybody that I wanted to. I'd grown into my own as a proper businessman and entrepreneur. And so I thought every time I have to come back to this establishment that I've given so much to my time, my sweat, my life, my blood, it has to come when I have something really serious to say. So that was then I started to compartmentalize it. I started to say, you know what, I am going to come with my acting chops every time I have to come. It doesn't matter after this conversation, maybe the next time you're going to see me in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but it has to mean something. There has to be a potency that it carries. And so when you come to that understanding, trust me, it's a self-responsibility of sorts. Once you come to that understanding, you will go far beyond anything that possibly is a hindrance, that's an impediment to portray your art form.
Right. So this was a process of self-reflection. It's just
self-discovery.
Self-discovery.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's never late to learn about yourself. Every time it's a learning process. It's a process of evolution. Every time I thought I know enough about myself, I let myself be open to learn more. I ascend higher grounds with people that know better. I bring into my small community mentors that have lived a certain lifestyle, that are far more experienced than me. And mind you, it has nothing to do with age.
Right.
There are mentors that I'm older than.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You understand me?
Right.
I look up to you in a lot of sense. You may not understand it. There are certain things that we research properly. So I do, and I look up to some people. That is the only way evolution can happen in your life. That's when you go with the times, and that's when you evolve with the times. When people that are in the immediacy of the space that you want to operate in, you want to say something in, are moving seamlessly, are doing well in it. You come from another era, you come from a different generation. The only way you can thrive every time you find yourself in a different time is to pick one or two persons that seemingly understand what it means to traverse the two worlds and learn from them.
Absolutely, that makes so much sense because, you know, people say this old Nollywood, new Nollywood thing. And as far as old Nollywood was, you've been there, done that, scattered it. And then you are still, it's almost like, I mean, there was a short blip where it looked like you went away for a while. But right now, it's almost as if you didn't leave. It's like you are as relevant today as you were. People are tweeting. I mean, there was the net honors, I think, and you were the most searched.
Twice now.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. That's not a natural, traditional narrative.
Yes, people should be looking for the younger, fresher.
And then last year, what makes it even funnier, more awkward was I didn't put out any serious work last year. But I just made sure that I stayed at the breast of things without exposing too much of myself. So it took a certain art as well.
Can you share a bit of that art with us?
I understand my pattern implicitly. I understand how to apply it in every generation. I understand when to withdraw it, to demand it. Okay? And so that was it. It's an equation that has to be fostered by yourself because you understand your partner. The mistake people make is that they allow people create that equation for them. And then they infuse themselves into it. And then you find yourself struggling for the result.
Yes.
I understand mine is tested and trusted by trial and error. Over the space of over a decade, you cannot tell me about my brand. No matter how much of an expert that you are. You don't understand my journey, you don't understand my partner. I understand implicitly. I understood it by living it more than anyone else I know. So I'm a self-expert. I am a Jamaica expert. I know when to plant it, to glorify it, to demystify it, to remove it, to make it mysterious. I don't understand my partner more than anyone else. Other times I was busy studying other people's partner, people that have succeeded. But then I understood that individuality and flair that fostered other people's success is not mine. What made you the successful? If I apply it, I'll fail woefully. Try mine, you will not succeed.
I want to ask you something about that amount of energy that is used. But before that, Moses Ewang, I mean, for the things I've watched, you've done 2 things with him.
I've done over 12 films with Moses.
12, right. I think so. The ones I know.
So we're so big.
Right.
So that's the journey.
So that's the journey, because you say he's your brother.
Yeah, it's more like a brother.
I've never met him, but I've seen in the past few years all the things that he's done. I just even saw Alter Ego again. So he's always, what is it like working with him? He's always testing stuff, trying stuff. Even if they are not things that the audience is automatically going to get, like a comedy or etc. What is working with him like?
When we started back coming, it was, I didn't want a frame of reference. I didn't want it to be called a Bollywood, Nollywood, Hollywood film. I wanted to make a universally viable film, create a film about probably the most important space, platform, as we know it as modern men right now, which is the social media ecosystem. So I had to find a director that was open to the ideas that I had. Moses easily is one of them. I have 3 people that narrowed, and so it wasn't just him from day one. When we got in, I was set to shoot a story, and then he pitched back coming to me because he is one of the people that came up with it. I said, hey, this is amazing. He told me this story. Then again, that's also about, a word about being assertive. He told me this story in Hilton as I was going up to my room and I was in the company of another producer. And the producer caught interest and said, hey, I'm coming to see you tomorrow. Let's discuss more about this. I kept quiet. We discharged that producer on the 3rd floor. Moses was on the 4th floor, I believe. I was going to the 5th floor. I told him, dude, you're going to my room with me. He thought it was about something else. We walked into my show and said, I want that story. He said, okay, tomorrow morning. I said, no, we're finishing it tonight. Finish the story. I said, what's it going to take? Right there and then, I moved, I transferred money. He said, what's the hurry? I mean, you're not shooting till the end of the year. I said, how much is it? We concluded a transfer to him before we put pen on paper.
Wow.
And he came downstairs. Next day, true to my prediction, the producer came and said, hey, I mean, I really said, no, Jim just bought it. So how can Jim have bought it between last night we discussed it?
Yes.
He said, the money's in my hand. We've not put paper. I said, okay, how much is it? Let me know. He said, no, it's paid, it's paid. So it took us 4 or 5 days later to put pen on paper. But I owned the story immediately. And that's the kind of relationship that we have. It's spontaneous. When we put it together, he said, Jim, I know you're ready financially to make this, but are you ready psychologically? Because it's going to take a toll like nothing else you've done. I was a props man, the car props man. I was a producer. I was the executive producer. I was the lead actor. I was the property guy.
Yeah.
There was a lot. So it was like, no, you need to delegate. I said, no. The precision that's required to portray this story has to come from me. I can't delegate to any other person. They will fall short and I'll be forced to compromise. Let me hold myself responsible every time it falls short. And I know how I hold myself. I will go through this. But we did. And so that's the kind of guy. I needed somebody like Moses that's open to the cowboy motives that I had for backcoming. So it's like that many times we got it right. We did 7 reshoots. That's why it transited the post-COVID era. It took us 1.5 years to put it, because every time an idea came, he would call me. I was in the States one time, call me and said, dude, shopping your holiday. There's something I just thought about. We have to go and do it. At some point, I was exasperated. I was tired. We fought over 20 times. We were quarreling like old couples back and forth. But I knew he came from a good place. And I trusted more than anything else his creative ideas. You have to trust the person you're co-creating with. So that was it. We crossed our budget 5 times. So every time we did, from the place of an executive producer, from a financier, I was distraught. I'm like, I can't keep spending money for something that I don't see the immediate future. And more so, I wasn't doing the slapstick comedy everybody was also enthralled with. Their understanding of it was that Nigerians are so depressed, they were only going to the movies to see a movie that will make them laugh. I wanted to create a proper film. I took my responsibility seriously, and I wanted somebody that saw it from that point of view to coexist in this space with me. And so it was a shot in the dark. We weren't sure if people will accept backcoming. We weren't sure if giving the pattern of successes others have had. Look at it, the 10 last most successful films were all on that genre. So what was to say? Moses on Film 1 said, Jim, this is a beautiful film, best film I've seen from this space. But this thing may not make money. And I said, that's the one shot I'm willing to take. If people understand that I just shifted the paradigm, even by a degree, it's not enough for me. It's enough for me if I don't make it financial success. But then the 2 expectations married. And then Backcoming became truly what it is, a movement. 8 cities, an extremely successful tour.
So essentially, you are an entrepreneur as much as you're a creative.
Yes, sir.
But not just in film, is it?
No. I brought What Ventures to Nigeria in a sense. I own a travel agency. It's called Mercuria. We have about 3 or 4 branches right now. I'm also in real estate, Lustrous Global. My brother-in-law runs it. We said now bank is not working. Get out. So one day the way I do things, if you don't. When I want to do something and you're not on the same pace, you lose. So every day it was the incessant complaints from my sister, from him. I'm tired of this bank job. I had an earful. This is an expert, more or less. He's a hard worker, he's quick on the uptake. I said, listen, real estate is it. I'm going to thrust you in this position immediately. Let's run with it. I know you learn on the job. We'll make a few mistakes, a few left turns, but I know in a year we're going to hit it. So I have a little bit of money to put in here, but I have bigger contacts. I'll open the doors, walk through it, make things happen. And that's what we did. 2 years later, we're on our 3rd project. We're doing well as well there. I'm in logistics as well. And there's something I do called pockets of investments. For a long time, every business I involved myself in failed woefully. I'm expeditious in opening gates. I just don't know how to man the gates. Because of how my mind, how my kinetics work, I can't.
Yes,
So every
yes.
time I open a business, the first 6-7 months, I had a boutique, one of the biggest boutiques in here called Untamed Closet.
In Abuja?
Yes. We created it, it was doing so well, it was very personalized shopping, very beautiful, as you know, the pretentious lifestyle of Abuja residents. They loved it. Took my eye off the ball, brought somebody in.
Yeah.
In 7 months, it collapsed.
Yeah.
No, so many other things we've set up kept failing. And I went back to the drawing board and said, how come I do it so well in the beginning, but I never finish it well? You know, I'm telling you, like 6-7 businesses, I was facing bankruptcy even. So what am I doing wrong? My passion is right. My drive is over the top. You know, I study hard behind the scenes to understand this. I said, you know, so my team was the problem. I believe too much in paper qualification. So they'll come with their masters, they'll come with all that stuff, and I will subjugate that for street sense.
Yes, yes.
For people that understood the street hustle, how to move.
Yes.
Between,
How to adjust and be flexible and
immediately,
respond.
and didn't need me. They will move on their own imperativeness, and people that were hungry. I always brought people that had a background, that were relaxed, that couldn't share passion. I needed hunger. So I went after hunger. I dropped paper qualification and I brought some sharp street boys, man.
Yeah.
Everything that's been manned by me, my brother, they're not the most eloquent people, but they're the fastest. So we put them up, and then I said, okay, the next thing is, let me reduce my risk. We're about to launch another, just as yesterday, it's called Big Lottery. And when the gaming service now, again, it's a partnership between a couple of lawyers, friends of mine, and a top politician. So that's how we roll. Yeah, and so when I figured out, again, what has been said about pattern, how it works for me, I'm so busy, I cannot be the one that mans the gate. I'm most proficient at opening gates. Opening doors. I just don't know how to hold the doors open. And so I brought people that understood how to. They don't know how to open doors, but they know how to man doors.
Gates, yes. And that's what you were saying about patterns.
About patterns.
You know yourself.
And there are people that understand how to man this door, how to open, how to operate in a crowded space. They're social butterflies. They know how to walk the crowd. I don't know. I don't understand. It's never been me. I was born a loner. I can't change it, man. At this age, how? So I have to find a way to make it work.
To make it work. You know, it's amazing because I observing you, because I must say I study people a lot. I learned like you that studying them, but I have to apply it, that's what you said, to my own patterns. Previously, I was studying them and trying to be like them. Now I study and say, no, what is the basic and how do I apply it to my own rhythm? So, I pay attention to you over a long time. Like, there's something deliberate, deliberate, stealth. Your plate is stealth.
Lack of better word.
Something like that. But people, I know this is not a shade on anybody. Most people go with what they see first. They're supposed to see you and think you are flashy, even though there is no flash. I'm sure you've.
That's my biggest asset.
Right.
Yeah.
The perception.
Yes, you have to give a warped perception in order to move freely in certain world. Okay, if there are too much eyes, remember when there was too much eye, too much scrutiny, every step measured, and they wait for the outcome, and when I fail, I'll be punished extensively for it. I failed so many times, it's ridiculous, but nobody sees it because you don't understand my pattern. You don't live in my world anymore. Okay, I've had a failed marriage, I've had so many failed.
What?
Yeah. And then nobody knows that. I have 2-3 beautiful kids. So how are you gonna know? You can't follow my pattern. You will never understand. Even people that live in my space don't know how I move. I'm telling you, I have my sisters like, hey, which ward are you now? And I'll tell them. You have to hear from me.
Yeah.
I have PAs that don't know. I was coming here. My PAs are in the office right now. I took an associate from the office, drove me down here. When they call him, they'll say we're somewhere. They don't know I'm at Chudi. Next thing they'll be like, okay, you wore this outfit. That means it was at Chudi's today. I keep everybody on their toes. That's how I operate. My level of unpredictability has to stay true to me. I hate to be figured out. Once you figure me out, I have nothing else to offer.
Yes. It's all there.
It's on the table. So that's the potency in it. I refuse to be figured out. I refuse to be tamed.
I refuse to be that one needs this. That one needs it. I refuse to be figured out. I refuse to be tamed. No, Jim, we have to do a master class. I'm not even playing. Because there's so much. Oh my God, there's so much. But it would be malpractice of me. You gave me an exclusive. If I just move on like that. But you were just talking and you mentioned I've had 2 failed marriages, 3 kids. We didn't know. We didn't know. I didn't know you had even been married. I only know your son.
Yeah.
How did you first, obviously, what happened with those marriages? Did you learn anything from those marriages? What caused them to fail, and what did you learn from that?
I caused them to fail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not the one that will sit down here and berate anybody for my mistakes. The first thing they say to boss up, own up. Yeah, I was there's a part of me that would take the easy route out. Every time I did something mediocre in my life, I always did it when I was emotional. Because I'm extremely, extremely proficient in being deliberate and being strategic about everything I do. So every time I failed, it was because I got emotional. And then I became mediocre. Then I appealed to the smaller man in me, the superficial part, and the part that wasn't emotionally intelligent. I suffered a loss. My mom was like my best friend, my co-partner, my business partner. People don't understand that when my mom, she left stuff that, like how? The family, I would not, whenever, my dad is an erudite, he's a very smart man, not highly educated, just extremely smart, but he wasn't a good businessman. My mom is not extremely, educated, but she is so smart, it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, one of those people that were born with native intelligence that is just annoying. Because I want to play games around her sometimes when I was a kid, and she'll catch me.
Can see you coming.
Yeah, so I decided to be telling her the truth. Other people go lie to their mom, run circles around them and collect money. I go and tell her, Mommy, I need money. She will give me because I didn't play games. But every time I play games, it never ends well. So at the end of the day, when I lost, my mom was like, I'm one of those guys that'll call my mom to a holiday, hang out. It wasn't that, I know they say only sons are very close to their mom. No, but it was a relationship based more on friendship. And mutual respect. I respected her opinion. She wouldn't meddle into my affairs. She allowed me to make all my mistakes. My dad was always trying to be the disciplinarian. She said, let him go. So all my mistakes, all my failures, I've never met a human being all my life. And it's just not because every time I call or the press writes something or something, they say, K-Manny. I'll tell my version. She said, that's life. How do you feel? But yeah, you've learned the lesson. So move forward. And I'll move forward. That people always wonder, how does he rise from some of this scandal? How does he rise from things that is supposed to bury him? I had somebody that speak to a spirit part of me that nobody could speak to. I lost that. When I lost my mom, I couldn't find my feet for years. There's a lifestyle there. There's an understanding. There's a spirituality. There's a connection that I lost. And I just wanted to live my life outside the world. Because the mistake was already made. It took them 72 hours to tell me I'd lost my mom. Wow. Right in the middle of a BBC interview in London, I just came out. There's always that part of family. One person in family, there's a deliverer of bad news. So they got this. Even this guy said, I'm not telling him. There's a great chance he won't make it. So 72 hours, I came home. On the plane, I don't know how I made up. I said, what would she have expected of me? To take charge. I came, I took charge. So my babysitter was about to get married. My dad was falling apart. People don't understand, what does he want? I'm a product of love. My parents were so in love with each other. Imagine a father, your parents woke up and said, you know what, you're stressing us, get out of the house. When I decided I was going to be an actor, they said, do you know what it takes for the law of your life to say that? You're stressing my husband. I can't sit here and you waste my husband with high blood pressure. What can come
back and go?
Get out.
Move to one side.
Let's breathe. If you survive, you survive. If you don't, we'll make another kid in our old age.
That's badass.
What's going on? I hated them for that. But I'm telling you later, I saw that this is what I want. So you can't show me that this is the product I came from, and then you second-ram it and think I should settle as a compromise. No.
Oh, you've seen the example.
I've seen what it's like. The light in the man's eyes died. So I took charge as the head of the family. I couldn't grieve. I couldn't let myself feel. We finished the village had to be finished because she insisted she was going to be buried. My mom lived in London and Manchester, so we had to bring her back home, bury her there, saw my sisters through the whole grief process, started nursing my, after a while, they go back to that childlike state.
Yes.
So I had to be there, making visits, making calls, being there. I forgot to grieve. I just thought that was what it took to get over it. Just when I was getting over it, my woman was pregnant with my first son.
Oh, wow.
Then I had quiet space. There was nobody around me. There was nobody to take care of anymore, because that was my excuse. That was my medium to healing. And then there was nothing all of a sudden, and the grief hit me. The loss hit me. And I didn't know how to stand. I couldn't sleep days on end. I was irritative. I wasn't the loving man she married. I'm the goofball, man. Forget the perception out there. I am the prankster of the family. I'm the guy that starts a laugh in the most serious issue. They don't invite me for family meetings because I'll start with a joke. And then my dad was like, we
are trying to be serious.
Yeah. So I lost that. I lost my sense of humor. I lost the lion in me. I lost the leader in me. I just gave myself to the elements. And so she suffered for that. And then I became an obsessive dad. I took everything in me to my son. I was changing diapers. I was the proper stay-home dad. You know, so I took everything to him and left her behind. I took all my love and attention and left her behind. I wasn't a husband. I was an excellent father and a woeful husband. So they're not built like us, my brother. They're white. They're not built like us. And after a while, she said, I can't find who I'm married. How do we? And we parted as friends. I said, I'm here, but I'm not here. There's no presence here. I don't know what it would take for me to heal, to bring myself back, but if you want to wait for me, I will appreciate it. But if you can't, I will understand it. She said she can't. So as friends, we parted, we shook hands, and I went to try and heal myself. So I found certain parts of the world that people didn't know me, and I went there. I went to Gambia. Yeah, I went to Gambia. The president then was a friend of mine. I know people say Germany is the worst person, but I called him and said, I'm dying. I can't find my feet anymore. I need somewhere nobody can find me. So they made a presidential suite available with my own private beach. And I went there. I would stroll. It took 2 weeks till the dam broke. So I was able to cry by the beach, cry properly, and relieve myself of pain that I was harboring for years, and then went on the journey of healing. I went to 2 more countries. All I did is just backpack, make friends with a bunch of white kids. I went to the south of France, stayed for 2 weeks. The beautiful thing about working all your life is that you can afford certain luxuries. It's not high-vol, but you know, imagine if I didn't have resources. So yeah, funds were depleting without being replaced. I wasn't working, but I could do that.
Yes, you could do that.
So I went to Argentina as well. I went to Moscow. And then when I found out, came back, I found Jim back. And so that was 2 years ago, pre-COVID.
Wow.
And then when I got back, I said, okay, it's time to hear me again.
It's time to hear you again. Wow. You have so many stories. There are so many things. There are so many angles. We need to go. I don't want this to end. You know, we were supposed to round up a while ago, but you have to ask these 2 things, and you don't have to. I mean, one you may need to answer. The other one you don't have to answer. The fight with Uche Maduna.
Orchestrated. I can say it now. I'll give you 2 scoops.
2 scoops.
Do I look like the kind of person and just at the event, just before the introduction of one of the most important works in my entire career, go and jeopardize it by myself? No, I'm too strategic. Orchestrated.
I thought so.
I wanted to tell them to paint the picture of what's like in the social media ecosystem.
Yes.
I can orchestrate anything and you will perceive it. It's about perception.
It's about, you know what is remarkable? This is why you are so good. As I looked at it, I was like, the Jim Iyke I know, he cannot make this kind of.
No, that's a
but people
mistake.
believe it.
No, because that's it. That will show you that word is surreal. There's nothing that exists in that world. I called the man, we had an understanding, paid very well for it, wrote the script, called Moses in, we shot it. I'm about to release the ending of it. I'm not stupid.
I know.
I will never make that kind of mistake. I even called my sister a day before. He said, this will backfire. I said, no. I understand the people's mindset. Their propensity for gossip and bad news.
Yeah.
There's no how to backfire.
Yes.
We buried over 20 million in the promotion of that film, and people were still viewing it with a certain degree of cynicism. Immediately there was a scandal. It caught fire. You know, above everything else, the one thing I've honed exceedingly is my instincts. And so over time, when we missed Chudi's interview 4 or 5 times. I insisted and even prevailed. At some point, demanded of my crew that they find me a place to air my voice. Chudi is a master of the craft. He understands how to delve into issues profoundly, eloquently, and gracefully to get you to speak your mind, to amplify your voice, as we've stated in no small measure today. It's my honor to be here, and thank you for having me, and saying what I wanted to say that I didn't find the medium to say it. So thank you.
Thanks for tuning to my channel, and let's know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Please do not forget to subscribe, hit the like and notification button for more exclusive updates. Till I come your way next time, bye bye.